I think it's a 50-50 fight. It's very, very close. I'm friends with both Leigh and Josh. I think it'll be an absolute barnstormer of a fight. They've both got great, great styles. Can't help but be exciting. So I just unfortunately I'm away. My friend's getting married away in Tenerife, so I can't be there, and it pissed me off, to be honest with you, because I mean what a fight that will be. But I wish them both all the best. I think it's a toss a coin one.
Great fight, and I like both of them. I'm actually friends with both of them. Josh, you can never write off. I think before he even made it, everyone was trying to write him off every fight, Lee Selby's, Carl Frampton's, and he kept showing it. You can't write him off. I feel like Leigh Wood probably goes in this as the more fresher, more favourable, but at the same time, Josh Warrington just come back and got his wins. So, and that Lopez is a very good fighter who beat Warrington. So, you know what I mean? Who knows until we get in there? But I think one thing that Leigh's very good at is getting to the edge of range and throwing long levers, powerful. But at the same time, I think he gets to round 7, 8 in a hard fight, and I think he's quite spent. And Josh keeps going and going. He's rough and he's rugged, and there's probably be cuts and elbows flying in. And I think it'll be a good fight, and I think there'll be a great atmosphere. I hate to say it because I like them both. I'd probably lean towards Leigh Wood more on the last few performances, but like I said, you can never write Josh Warrington off, and if you could bottle heart and sell it, you'd make a killing off Josh, you know what I mean?
Well, that's going to be a great fight, I'm really looking forward to that fight, and I know Leigh Wood pretty well, and he's a good fighter, he's a nice fella, and he's a good fighter, and Warrington's a good fighter, so I don't know, it's a 50-50 fight that. I'm hoping Leigh Wood just does it at the end, so I'm just going to tip to Leigh Wood.
It wouldn't be giving anything away to say that Josh does rush in at times, and Leigh needs to be there to meet him. He's a devastating puncher. Exchanging on Leigh's terms at the right time, it's a vulnerable position for Warrington. He wants to come forward with all this volume that he looks to bring. It leaves himself vulnerable for Leigh, who Leigh will need to look to bring him onto one. So at times in the fight, that's a scenario that will occur. Against Mauricio Lara. Yeah, look, I think first time, I think Lara very quickly got a lot of respect for Leigh's power and probably didn't rush in and dive in as much as we'd anticipated or expected or hoped, to be honest. So there was a little adjustment for Leigh next time, just to look to be going first a little bit more and not sit and wait for so long, because that scenario, Lara was a bit too wary to rush in with those transitions as recklessly as we'd seen him before. So noticing that, obviously going into the rematch, we made a little adjustment there. So I think that stands Leigh in good stead for the next fight, because for Josh Warrington fight, because we'll be prepared for Josh to come with this volume, but also be prepared if Josh is a little bit hesitant to switch things up.
I think that it's a really good fight. I think that I like both guys, I really do, but I think it's a really good fight and it'll be competitive, but I mean, if I had to pick a winner, I would probably pick Leigh Wood. I think he's probably just slightly fresher than Josh.
Do you know what? If Warrington fights like he has in his last couple of fights, I think Leigh Wood. I think Leigh Wood's beat him comfortably, because Leigh Wood's is coming off some good wins. His confidence is sky high, and I think since he won a world title, he's leveled up every single fight. Yeah, he had that slip up, but he come back, and his last fight he boxed very well. So he's going to be going in there with confidence, and then I think Warrington's got a point to prove also. So I think if Warrington performs like he did in his last couple of fights, I think Leigh Wood wins comfortable. But if he turns up, it'll be a very good fight and a close fight.
I know Leigh Wood's got an amazing engine on him. Leigh Wood will not leave you alone, and so sorry, Josh Warrington has got an amazing engine on him. He will not leave you alone. Leigh Wood, if his heart is to be broken, and if there's somebody out there to do it, it's Josh Warrington. But I think Leigh is now finding his own. He's matured as a fighter, believes in everything he's capable of doing. So I think that's a slick fighter. Leigh's an Ingle style kind of fighter, so I've got to back that every day of the week. Josh is not the fighter he was, but the fighter he is. He's still very, very dangerous. So I'm going Leigh Wood. Good fight. I'll be there. Sheffield, home ground.
I don't know who wins, I think it's going to be a good fight, but I honestly don't know who wins. I've been asked this question a lot by a lot of different people, and sometimes I'll say Leigh, sometimes I'll say Josh, but honestly, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know who wins because I can see a way for both guys winning. I could see a way for Josh stopping Leigh or beating him on points. And I can see the exact same for Leigh. I could see how Leigh could knock Josh out, but I also could see how he could probably win comfortably on points if he uses his boxing. But for me, it's a pick 'em fight. I can't say you can't say that Josh is at the tail end of his career and it's made for Leigh to win, because I think Leigh is probably older than Josh. I'm not too sure. So it's a good fight. Whoever wins, I'll look at. I would like to look at either of them, winner or loser. I'll be happy to fight either of them, winner or loser, because let's be honest, they're probably some of the biggest money making fights for me. Is either of them, and it doesn't matter if they win or lose. I think they're just massive fights. So yeah.
I think the power. I think timing. I think Warrington's probably his best days are behind him. I think. He's a very energetic fighter. A fighter, a ferocious pace. He's got a young man style, Warrington, and I think Wood is probably a bit more calculated. And he carries good power. And those two wins. The two fights with Lara. He went up in my estimations. Wood, he did. I thought he showed a bit of internal steel in that rematch, going in there and getting the win the way he did. So no, I fancy Wood.
Fancy Wood. Yeah.
How do you think it will end or go about?
Can punch, can't he? He can punch. I think I like Warrington. Good style, good crowd pleaser, big following and all of that. But I just fancy stylistically, I think Leigh's style beats Warrington, and probably inside the distance.
The way we approach these fights is the same for this fight as it has been for the last 5 fights. We look at our opponent's strengths, we look at the weaknesses, and we look at what I need to do to exploit them, and be careful of what they do good. Make sure they don't give them momentum what they're doing. Same for this fight. I know what I need to do. Don't make it easy. I think a lot of people think Josh has had better days. I disagree. I think he's looking good. I think against Lopez fight it was to the nail. I thought it was a hard fight to score. He probably could have got it. October the 7th will end with a Leigh Wood victory, and I'm predicting a stoppage.
We'd probably see it build up like me and Carl did a few years ago. Shake each other's hand, knock fuck out of each other, and have a pint after.